Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Andrews. And how are we this morning?
Fine.
Good. Looking forward to another fun-filled day, improving the lot of the underprivileged?
Can't wait to start shedding the light of hope.
Oh, how fortunate the little darlings are to have you as their mentor. Now, Mr. Andrews, almost forgot. Mrs. Davidson, she'd like to see you in her office.
Any idea what for?
Got a fair idea.
It's a secret, is it?
Oh, I think she'd like to tell you herself.
Oh, don't tell me it's a public holiday.
Well, what time is it then?
It should be open by now.
You're jumping the gun a bit. We don't open till 9.
It's 2 minutes past.
Well, what can I do for you?
We want to get married.
I'm afraid it's not as simple as that.
Why not?
First of all, you have to fill in the notice of intended marriage form. Then, after that's been submitted, you have to wait 1 month and 1 day before you can actually be married.
1 month and 1 day? That's bloody ridiculous.
I'm sorry, but that's the law, madam.
Well, we can't wait that long.
She didn't mean it that way. Get the form. Let's fill it out.
Were you both born in Australia?
No, I was born in England.
Well, we'll need both your birth certificates, or in your case, madam, your passport.
Godfather, all this carry-on just to get married.
And it'll cost you $20 for the ceremony, or $25 if it's a weekend.
Yeah, they get you every way, don't they?
That's what you have to do if you want to get married. It's not up to us, I'm afraid. It's...
Yeah, I know. It's the law.
Officer Powell claims that the strike by the women in the laundry is a deliberately planned operation, and she accuses you of being the instigator.
It's ridiculous. When I left here last night, I had no idea that this was going to happen.
Are you quite sure about that, Mr. Andrews?
Of course I'm sure. The last time I spoke to Smith, I asked her would the women be prepared to forego their classes so that I could supervise her on the Braille machine.
Well, under the circumstances, that is a fairly inflammatory question in itself.
It was only fair that they should be considered.
Mr. Andrews, on the previous afternoon, I personally overheard you telling the women to withhold their labour to demand their rights. Isn't that true?
Well, I suppose I did say that, but that's completely out of context.
Oh, out of context or not, that is a very dangerous statement to make.
I know it sounds like that, but it wasn't like that at the time. All right, I admit I was being rash.
Rash? Under the circumstances, it was tantamount to inciting a riot.
Mrs. Powell, I would like to speak to Mr. Andrews alone. Do you mind?
No, of course not.
What on earth do you think you were doing? I already have the threat of industrial action by the staff because of overwork, and this is just adding fuel to the fire.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Davidson. It's all getting out of hand.
It certainly is. I cannot afford to lose the goodwill of my officers. I must show them that I am concerned about their welfare as well as that of the prisoners.
Yes, I know, but the prisoners have rights, too.
Of course. But there is never a shortage of prisoners. There is always a shortage of officers. By your impetuousness, you have not only damaged your reputation and the good work you have already done, but you may very well have destroyed the whole future of the education center. I must warn you that if the department finds out that you are in any way responsible for inciting the prisoners to strike, they are bound to ask for your resignation.
Come in.
Mrs. Morris?
Yes?
Tony Morton, Legal Aid Service.
Ah, yes. Sit down. Thanks for coming over so quickly.
You said on the phone you wanted me to handle a court application for,
Elizabeth Latham.
Latham, yes.
Yes, that's right. Well, because of the emotional strain, I consider it an absolute necessity that they be reunited with as quickly as possible for the mental well-being of the mother.
That urgent, eh?
Yes, it is. As it is, only yesterday she was on the verge of running away with the child, and that'd be disastrous.
And what about the father?
Well, he's definitely the more stable of the two, but together, I think they could settle down and make excellent parents.
Does he have a criminal background?
Yes.
Yeah, well, normally it's a a fairly straightforward procedure. The parents' criminal backgrounds could create problems, but if they have good character references and it looks as though they're trying to lead normal, law-abiding lives, they should be all right.
Well, I don't think we'll have any trouble proving that.
If it's okay with you, I think we should try to arrange to see them later on this morning.
Terrific. Oh, well, I'll give them a ring and we'll set up a time.
Me?
Oh, g'day. Well, we put this place into a bit of panic, haven't we?
You sure have, but that's not all.
What's up?
Officer Powell overheard me saying how you could take action over this braille machine business. She reported it to the governor. Now I'm being blamed for the strike, and there's a good chance that I could get fired.
What? That's ridiculous. You had nothing to do with it. It was our decision.
Yeah, well, they're not seeing it that way. On top of that, there's talk of the officers going on strike. And there's a good chance that the education centre will close down. I'm being blamed for alienating officers and prisoners.
Oh, bloody hell, that wasn't supposed to happen. If you go, we're right back where we started from.
Look, Bea, there's a lot of things in here that I don't approve of, but you've got to take it gently. You can't change the system that fast.
Mr. Andrews, what are you and Smith hatching up between you now? A mass breakout?
I was trying to explain...
Do I have to remind you it is against regulations for you to be unaccompanied in the dormitory block?
I know
You
that.
will leave the area immediately.
Well, did you hear that? You know what I think? I think the screws have got their teeth into Mr. Andrews and they're using him as a scapegoat. And whether we like it or not, if we go on strike, we'll just be adding fuel to the fire.
How about you, then? Purple curtains and orange walls, honest.
What's wrong with that? Kids need a lot of colour.
Oh, yeah, colour, but not ones that are going to make them sick.
Yeah, wait till you see what I got picked out for our room.
Yeah,
Red
what?
and black.
Oh, sounds just like a place I used to work in. Hello? Oh, hello, Mrs. Morris. Yeah, we've just been out and bought stuff for the flat. Who? Tony Morton? Yeah, I suppose so. What? Oh, I see. Here, get off. Oh, no, not you, Mrs. Morris. No, it's Mick he's mucking about. Yeah? Oh, that'll be great. OK, then. I'll see you later. Ta-da. She's bringing some geezer around from the legal aid. He's going to help us get Elizabeth back through the courts.
You know, she's pretty good, isn't she? He doesn't muck about.
No, well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, I can see that now. You two were both right. The only way we're going to get Elizabeth back is through them courts, isn't it?
That's right, Chrissy. We'll fight and we'll win. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, yeah. We're going to win all right, Mick. Well, come on then. We've got loads of things to do. How about we start on Elizabeth's room, eh? After you, then.
Always have been.
Oh, you're joking. Get on. Oh!
Never lets up, does he?
Who?
David Andrews. Just had to throw him out of the dormitory wing.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time. What was he doing there?
Oh, talking to Smith and Birdsworth, probably hatching up another plan. I'm fed up with that bloody school teacher. He's definitely becoming a security risk.
I agree. The school's been nothing but a waste of time.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence, ladies. If you thought about it sensibly, you'd realise that I'm trying to improve security.
Really? What do you suggest? We let them all out so then they don't have to try and escape? It's the best one you've come up with so far, Mr. Andrews.
If a prisoner has something constructive to do, something that she likes doing, she's far less likely to upset the system. And as for the education centre, it's designed to keep them out of places like this. If they'd all had a bit more practical education in the first place, they probably wouldn't be in here.
This lot don't want education. They're just using your schemes to get out of what they're supposed to be doing.
Yes, the school hasn't made the slightest difference at all to their attitudes. It's been a complete failure.
Oh, for God's sakes, you're condemning the school after only a few weeks.
All your so-called rehabilitation schemes have done nothing but cause trouble from the start and made our jobs impossible. Discipline and security have never been worse.
Well, you'd be happier in Belson, wouldn't you, Mrs. Powell? Discipline? Bring on the gas ovens?
Don't think I haven't thought about it.
Yes, well, I can see it now, the Witch of Wentworth.
I don't think that was necessary.
Look, OK, I was joking. Here's something I'm not joking about. From now on, I will make sure that not one union member cooperates with you or your crazy schemes.
My relationship with the rest of the staff has reached a point where my presence here makes it impossible for any new rehabilitation scheme to have any chance of success.
I don't think it's quite that serious. It just needs both sides to see the other's point of view.
I'm afraid not, Mrs. Davis, and I think it's gone too far. It's reached a stage where there's a vendetta against me.